What role does storytelling play in internal communication, and how can organizations effectively use storytelling to engage employees? Did you get my questions very well, or I should go again?
No, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
So when it comes to internal...
Sorry,
yes,
Vivian. Yeah, in order to lay a proper foundation for this, session, right? I would like to ask Vivian, can you just buttress the point on what internal marketing is like? People just understand marketing. Some people wonder which one is internal marketing again. Is that external marketing? Okay, so what is internal marketing? Can you please educate us on this?
So internal marketing is when you are talking to your internal stakeholders, while external marketing is when you are talking to your external stakeholders. So internal marketing has to do with your staff. It's how you communicate within an organization. But external marketing is how you communicate with your clients or your customers. And over time, businesses have evolved from just communicating only external, that's only outwards. So for those of us within the marketing and brand space, you'll notice that when you get a brief for a new product launch or a new innovation or a major campaign, the brief will tell you to come up with ideas to launch internally. So you have internal system launch and then external system launch, because they've now realized the importance of managing and communicating effectively within the organization. Those are your first brand ambassadors. They are your first converts. They are your first brand loyalists. They're the first people that you need to convert before looking outwards. So that's just the basic difference between internal marketing.
So we have to sell inside first. We have to sell to the employees within the system before selling to outsider. Interesting. Exactly. Okay, maybe we can move on with the next question.
Okay, I'll just go again. So the second question is, what role does storytelling play in internal communication, and how can organizations effectively use storytelling to engage employees?
Story.
So storytelling plays a very significant role when it comes to internal communication. It is a very powerful tool for engaging employees. It's a very powerful tool for conveying your message. In fact, it's not just a powerful tool for conveying message inwards, it's also a powerful tool for conveying message outwards too, even both internal and external communications. And the reason I've said this is because, number one, the first thing storytelling does for you when you're communicating internally is that it builds this emotional connection. People are able to relate better when you tell them a story while communicating with them, right? So stories have the ability to evoke emotions. So somebody is talking to you, a leader is talking to you, a business leader is talking to you, and you can tell from the way they are talking, their emotions. People can go, or people can like, oh, we buy into, we key into this enthusiasm, if you get what I mean. So it makes your communication more memorable. It makes your employees more able to relate to what you are saying. So employees are more likely to remember a communication that you passed on to them via storytelling, as opposed to when you just send a memo. So it's able to evoke emotions. It's able to emotionally connect with the people that you are talking to, and they are able to remember when you are communicating internally. It also helps with engagement. So when you're telling a story, right, you can capture the attention of your audience. You can even maintain their interests when you are telling story. So it's very, very good for effective communication, because remember, when you are communicating, you want it to get to them. I will say, okay, so what is the most effective way, right? And then it provides a contextual understanding. People are able to bring what you're about to say, they're able to bring it, they're able to put it in context. Do you get? Because you are able to illustrate, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So if you are saying something abstract, they're able to illustrate an abstract context. And it makes it easier to understand the big picture. Yeah. Because when you are talking to your employees, leaders want to paint the big picture. How do you get them to that point where you've already gotten to? So storytelling helps you to illustrate the big picture. They're able to see it. You are bringing something abstract into context. Storytelling inspires and motivates. That's why you see, when you see these motivational speakers, you see pastors, when they are telling you about their life experiences, it gets to you. You know, they use that when they are preaching, because you can relate to it. If you understand what I mean, it can inspire you. There are some people, there are some leaders, you hear their stories, you are inspired. You'll be like, oh, I can do this. Storytelling has the ability to also motivate your team. So it's a very effective way of communicating internally.
Interesting. Okay, so next question.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. So let's move quickly to the third question for the day. The question goes thus: in the age of remote work and digital communication, what strategies have you found most effective for maintaining a sense of connection and engagement among distributed teams? So I'll take the question again. In the age of remote work and digital communication, what strategies have you found most effective for maintaining a sense of connection and engagement among distributed teams? Thank you.
Technology has actually made it relatively easier for us to effectively communicate in this age of remote working post-COVID. You know, there are different mediums that you can use. There's one that I just learned about. Coincidentally, my sister-in-law was the one that told me about it. It's called Trello. You know, she works in an IT-based firm, and we were discussing on how to effectively communicate with people, especially when people have to work remotely. We had to work remotely the first week of the shocker of the fuel price increase. The thing was, I couldn't even relate to it. So I said, you know what, guys, I spoke to my HR and I'm like, let's have guys, first of all, work remotely this first week. Let's even understand what's going on in this country. And so technology like Trello is a visual tool that empowers a team to manage any type of project and workflow. Any type of project, workflow, task. You can do that by just simply, you know, you download it, you create your board, you assign task, and then you watch it. You watch the task being done. So with technologies like that, all you need to do is just sign up, create a board for your team, fill in the task. Individual staff can also fill in their task, what they hope to achieve this week, for instance. And then once you are okay with the task, you can add to the task to say, oh, okay, head of operations, I also want you to do this. I want you to achieve this week. I want you to achieve that this week. He or she would add it to their Trello board. And then as they do each of the tasks, as they get each task done, they just mark. And you can see the tasks that are being done real time on a daily. So you don't necessarily have to see the person at the office behind their desk like this. You also have things like Slack. Slack is a business communication platform. Slack is relatively more organized than WhatsApp. Why do I say this? Because you can share updates and you can upload documents that are necessary for all to see. You can make calls. These are technologies that have been put in place in addition to the likes of WhatsApp that you can use to communicate effectively now, these days of remote working. You know, post-COVID, a lot of organizations have seen that work can actually be done. People can actually function effectively while working remotely. So there are a lot of remote jobs out there. And it's even a way of even cutting cost, operating cost of businesses. So businesses have adopted remote working. Some have done hybrid. So sometimes you're in the office, sometimes you're off work, maybe 2-3 times a week. So these are the ways you can use basically to maintain effective communication. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivian. Well, I'll just go straight next to the straight up to the fourth question. So my number 4 question is, could you elaborate on the role of leadership in driving employee engagement through internal marketing and communication efforts? What leadership behaviors are most impactful? I'll take the question again. Could you elaborate on the role of leadership in driving employee engagement through internal marketing and communication efforts? What leadership behaviors are most impactful?
So I'll start by telling us who an effective leader is. So an effective leader inspires, an effective leader motivates, an effective leader creates a positive workplace culture that encourages active participation and communication from employees. Now, looking at all this, when you want to look at the traits and the role that leadership brings to bear when it comes to employee engagement, right? First of all, as a leader, you need to lead by example. You need to walk the talk. So leaders inspire the employees when they behave the way they expect their employees to behave. So the employees are more likely, that leader is more likely to gain respect and commitment from their employees when they lead enthusiasm and dedication towards the company's value. It encourages employees to actually do the same. So first of all, leaders, HR consultants, in your capacity, you are also a leader of the business because you're the chief people's officer. Lead by example. You want people to come early? Come earlier. It's an awesome feeling when employees come in and the leaders are already there. They have this sense of, oh my God, be an active listener. I remember when we moved our resumption time from 9 to 8:30, because resuming at 9, people were coming at 9:30. And I took it upon myself to say, you know what? Me, that I'm telling people to come early, I hate coming early to work. I'm the boss, is not a yardstick to come late. So I said, what best way to do this? I now have to start doing school runs, because if I have to do school runs, then I have to prepare my kids and get them to school before 8. And then I will get to the office before 8:30. And I could tell from the expression of my staff, I typically don't come early, but I was telling HR, no, I come late. So nobody should come to work after me. And then boom, on Monday, I was in the office at like 8 when we're expected to resume at 8:30. And I could tell from the expression of my staff, we're over like 40 something. I could tell from their expression that, MD is already at work. MD is already at work. By the next day, everybody came as early as I came. And I'm like, okay, guys, whoa, hold on. I came by to 8 because I'm doing school run. So please, resumption time is 8:30, you know. So leading by example is very critical. Second point is being an active listener. Effective leaders listen actively to their employees. They seek feedback. They seek ideas. They listen to concerns and they take them seriously. So just by listening, you can address a lot of the issues. And when I say listening, don't just listen to the heads of departments. You'll be shocked at the level of information the people that you feel are not in the top cadre or senior management rank. So active listening is very, very, very good. Clear communication is also a third point that is very, very critical also. So leaders should adopt a communication style that is very, very clear. If you are not clear about anything as a leader, be clear about the vision of the company, be clear about the mission of the company, be clear about the goals that you have set out for your team, right? Best thing you can do is to set goals in milestones. At least be clear about the short-term goals. What do we hope, what are we set out for to achieve this quarter? You know, effective and clear communication is very, very good. And then when you keep it consistent again, it's also very, very good. So provide the team with regular updates on the progress within the company as you achieve the milestones. Some people can't see, not everybody, not every staff can see the total picture. If as a business, you guys have met your quarterly targets, pass on the information to everybody to say, well done. Your contribution, Mr. A, plus your contribution. Tell them. So it's very, very good to be very consistent and effectively communicate and be clear. Recognition and appreciation is also something that as leaders, we need to do to inspire our team. Recognize those that are doing very well, appreciate them, and recognition can come informally. It could come as a form of a bonus. It could come as a form of an award. For some people, they put these plaques of staff. You see staff of the year, staff of the month. In some eateries, you see it. That's a formal recognition. And the recognition can be informal. You don't have to say, we don't have budget, though. I cannot pass this, I cannot get this signed, though. It could be informal. It could be a verbal praise. You know, you'll be shocked that that would even motivate even more than the formal ones of actually want to be appreciated. They want you to notice that they put in a lot of work. They want you to notice that, they want to know that their efforts, you know, the long time that they spend in the office working over hours, you can't just throw one bonus into their accounts and then feel that that's it. I've recognized him. You know, some people, public recognition in the meeting to say everybody stand up, clap for social staff, they've done absolutely well and all, is the thing that really gets them going. Conflict resolution is also a very, very critical area that leaders should pay attention to. You know, a leader's ability to be able skillfully resolve conflicts amicably amongst the team can boost commitments. It can actually maintain a healthy work environment amongst the team. And then lastly, I would say accessibility. Accessibility is very, very critical as leaders. Are you approachable? Can we even see you? You know, people need to feel comfortable approaching their leaders with questions, with concerns, and I mean, without fear of retribution, you know. Alignment with company values is also very, very key. Leaders who consistently align their actions with the organization value demonstrate commitment to the company. And finally, continuous improvement. Leaders should be committed to continuous improvement. They should seek for means to engage with their staff, seek for means to have self-reflection. You know, there's always room to become a better leader. So continuous improvement should always be in the picture. Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're just teaching us how to be a good leader, dear. Thank you so much for that.
So quickly, I will just add a few to that, maybe just one because of time, right? If you listen to what she has said critically, I think she has mentioned time management, leadership by example in various ways. Solving demonstration of knowledge and expertise in line with your business, understanding your business. You see, you cannot lead when you are a weakling. I like the fact that we have Vivian today. Vivian is an MD, is a CEO of our company, but she's coming from different perspective from HR, right? So she's not one of us, and it's good that we are hearing from her. We cannot lead with limited knowledge. We cannot lead people, and specifically, I know we have a lot of HR people here, and maybe some MDCU here too. We need to have emotional intelligence skill. You must avoid bias. You must be assertive. You must embrace integrity. And you must be able to coach and mentor your employees. You can't do all of these things without demonstrating knowledge. Yeah, it's not nice when your employees ask you simple questions, even if it's not simple, something they do not know. You know, employees are like babies, children. Mommy, what's this? Daddy, what is this? You should have to be that kind of leader. And when she was saying, be approachable, you should be accessible, accessibility. And Vivian, you will agree with me. Some of the reasons why leaders are not accessible, why leaders they don't really feel free around people, is because they have limited knowledge. Some people are threatened by the fact that they even see the CV of the person coming in to come and work under them. We all have, okay, let me rephrase that, to come and work with them, to work as their what do you call that? And we have superior, and then we have subordinate. Okay, yes, that is there. Exactly. To work as their subordinates. So you look at the CV. Do you know that even this particular point here, right? I've denied a lot of people have been denied employment for this reason. No reason. The owner of the business wanted, in fact, they are the right people, the right fit for the business. But because some people in this by CV, just paper, they've not even seen the guy. As in, okay, maybe the guy have been able to manage to come for an interview. They've not even allowed the guy to come in. Or maybe when the guy finally comes in, they are threatened. And this is common a lot among, leaders in the business who probably became leader as a result of bias, wrong culture, their appointment to particular roles lacks merit or lacks proper due diligence. And they begin to frustrate the effort of younger people who actually came with genuine intention to do the business well, to do the business favor, to help lift the business. We must be committed to learning. I like the fact that you are mentioning all of these things, but above it all, guys, emotional intelligence is key. Let's embrace knowledge. Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you very much, TA, for that wonderful speech. After our speaker has answered our question, we really appreciate your contribution. So I'll just move next to the 5th question for the day. So my question is, what metric or key performance indicator do you recommend organizations track to measure the success of their internal marketing and communication strategies for employee engagement? Should I take that again?
Yes, please.
What metrics or key performance indicators do you recommend organizations track to measure the success of their internal marketing and communication strategies for employees' engagement?
Okay. So you can track things like employee engagement survey. You can distribute questions that covers topic like job satisfaction, company culture. You can also track things like employee turnover rates. It's just, if you have a very high turnover, it's an indication that there's dissatisfaction, or it's an indication that there's disengagement. You need to find back the connection with your employees. You can track things like retention rates, which is the opposite of the turnover rates. You need to see if you're having staff that have worked for a very long time, how many of such staff do you have when you check the ratio of others? You can track feedback and suggestions. You can track communications channel effectively. You check when you send out emails, how many people actually read them. You check when you call for town hall meetings or team meetings, how many people actually attend, So you can track all these things effectively. You can also track training and development participation. So you monitor your employees' participation in training program. For some offices, every Friday, in my previous life, every last Friday, it used to be first Friday, every last Friday of the month, MD then will have a staff read a book and summarize the book and train others. Check the level of participation when it comes to such training programs. You can also track workplace happiness and well-being. The metrics to track the stress level, work-life balance. For some organizations, the HR would suggest to the business that, okay, let's have gym subscriptions. For some organizations, they have in-house gym. How many staff actually goes to use those facilities? You can track those things. I know of a particular bank that once it's 5 o'clock, all systems will be shut down. Go home. They want you to go home. No matter how much you want to work, you can't do anything after 5 o'clock. Your system will automatically shut down. So how are people balancing their life with work? You can track that. And you can actually track employee advocacy. How can you track employee advocacy? How many of your staff post on their personal platform or on their social media network, post themselves or anything about the company, or they take a selfie and the company's logo is behind it. You know, the way where people, a lot of people, when they gain employment with Google, TikTok, Amazon, you see them posting the souvenirs given. You know, those things are things that shows that those things are things that they are actually employee advocacy. So you can track all of this. So these are the things that you can basically track. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivian. So I'll just go straight up to the next question, which is the sixth question of this evening. So the question is, can you provide examples of innovative internal marketing campaigns or communication initiatives that have had a significant impact on employee engagements within organizations? Can you provide examples of innovative internal marketing campaigns or communication initiatives that have had a significant impact on employee engagements within organizations?
A typical example of that would be a typical example of an innovative internal marketing communications campaign, you know, that have actually had very profound impact would be the employee-generated content hub by Adobe. So it's called Adobe Life. So employees have the opportunity to post their stories, their life experiences, and their projects, you know, on this hub. So this encouraged employees to become brand advocates, and it fostered a sense of, you know, community amongst them. It actually strengthened Adobe's employer brand. We have one also from Microsoft. It's called Employee Ambassador Program. So Microsoft developed this program where select employees represent the company in like industry events. So imagine sending an employee out, you know, as a Microsoft staff representing Microsoft in an industry event like the Oscars. You can imagine the sense of belonging that it would give to that employee to say, my name is Vivian Osigwe, I'm representing Microsoft for this event. You know, we've also had the virtual reality onboarding by Walmart. Walmart used virtual reality technology for their employees, their new employees, to actually onboard them. They basically just immersed their new hires into their culture, their way of working, their store environment, and they were able to learn about all these things, learn about the company's culture, learn about various roles through this virtual reality onboarding. So I think that's a very good experience with that Walmart actually did. There is employee podcast and webinar by Google, where Google would host regular internal podcasts and webinars featuring company leaders, industry experts, and their staff. So it keeps the employees very informed. It keeps the employees very inspired. It keeps the employees very connected. So imagine your organization, you know, is having a podcast and a webinar, and you invite Jeff Bezos, you know, the staff are going to, I mean, you imagine the kind of information that they're going to be getting. You know, they will learn, they'll feel all inclusive. And there's a lot of them. There's the employee hackathon by Facebook. Unilever did the well-being and mental health program where They were able to induce mental health support, flexible work arrangements, and all that into their relation with their staff. So those are just few examples that I can give.
Thank you very, very much, Vivian. So we will just give our speaker a few minutes to catch her breath from the questions we've previously asked, and then go on a commercial break, after which we come back to the next part of the questions, which my colleague Alima is going to be taking. So permit us to quickly go.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. So thank you, Vivian. So our next question is, how can an organization effectively balance the need for transparency in internal communication with the need to manage sensitive or confidential information? Let me take that again. How can an organization effectively balance the need for transparency in internal communication with the need to manage sensitive or confidential information?
So how to achieve that balance? You will agree with me that not all staff needs to know all information. Now, in creating that balance as to what you tell which cadre of staff at what point in time, I mean, that balance is very, very critical. So first thing you need to do is establish a clear communications policy where you outline what information can be shared openly and what information will remain confidential. So this should be outlined in your policy. And this policy should be made available to all employees so they know from get-go, right? You need to apply a need-to-know basis as HR professionals. Now, there are some information that are only needed by senior management, either for them to cascade down to their teams or like a way of target to then further use that information down the line, or use it to put together a strategy as to how they want to achieve a particular KPI. You need to limit the access of sensitive informations. Let those that need to know the information, the people that need it to perform their job roles, let them know it. So you give out information on a need-to-know basis. If you don't need to know as a staff, sorry, HR, don't make that information available to them. And then thirdly, classify information. Implement a classification system for information categorization. Certain information should be categorized as public. Certain information should be categorized as internal. The public can go on the company's website and all. Certain information should be categorized as internal, and certain information should be categorized as confidential or highly sensitive. This will help you determine how information should be handled. And then let's use secure communications channel. HR professionals, invest in secure, tell the business leaders to invest in secure communication channels and tools for handling sensitive information. Ensure that encryption and authentication mechanisms are in place to protect data. This is very, very critical. We all know about the incidents that happened between Facebook and this guy, where they are saying, this person is saying he's going to sue. Why did you employ a staff that used to be with Meta and now has all the information. So encryption, multiple authentication is required for sensitive data. Training and education. Provide regular training to employees on data security, on data confidentiality, and the importance of handling sensitive information responsibly. Make sure that they understand the consequences of mishandling confidential data. A lot of times when data are leaked, competition is able to get information and then act fast because of this issue of leak of information. And that's what mostly happens when information gets to the wrong ears, even among staff. Communication hierarchy. Establish communication hierarchy for internal communication. Information should flow from top level to the bottom. Not all staff needs to know about all information. Not all staff needs to know everything. So leaders play a very critical, HR especially, plays a very crucial role in filtering information appropriately. You can use secure document management systems. There are systems that provide audit trails for accountability. And then you can use confidentiality agreements. So a staff can be signed to say, by signing this, you are saying or you are agreeing to keep this sensitive information, you know. So these legal documents often helps to reinforce, you know, and maintain confidentiality. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vivian. I hope we are all following and taking notes. Very important. So our next question is, what strategies have you seen organizations employ to foster a culture of continuous feedback and open communication channels between employees and leadership?
Most popular among, no, it's fine. Most popular amongst the strategies that employees use to get feedback. The number one is the town hall meeting that we all know about. So regular town hall meetings are very good, especially when they are led by senior management. People are able to ask questions. Staffs are able to ask questions. You are able to answer their question. It's less formal. People can air their mind, and you are able to update the team on the company strategy. You can also talk about performance. You can even break important initiatives to them and get feedback. Most importantly, town hall meetings is about getting feedback. You can, things like anonymous feedback can be implemented, whereby you drop a suggestion. If you go to some companies, you see suggestion box. You don't have to write your name, just write whatever it is your suggestion is, put it in a paper and put it in the box. So some companies, you see their HR would put a suggestion box for anonymous feedback. That's also very, very good. It encourages honest and candid communication. Employee survey is also another thing that you can do. You can conduct periodic employee survey to help. It also helps organizations to gather feedback and actually get feedback on various aspects of the workplace. You can have a 360-degree feedback and performance review. This is a two-way session where employees can tell you and give you feedback, and you as well can give them feedback. You can have leadership development programs where organization, you know, they can emphasize during this program the need for open communication. I believe that a lot of issues that companies face arises when staff are not able to communicate. And HR, your place, actually bridges the gap. I usually tell my HR manager, look, you are the gap between me and my people. You are the mediator. They should be open communication. If I get pregnant on a new job, the first person that should know in the business is HR. HR should develop that bond where even staff members should feel free to tell you, I'm planning to jackpot. HR, this is my life goal. This is the next phase I want in my life. You know, that's why you see some people would even help. They will even assist. In some organizations, the employees replace themselves. I have a friend, when he was leaving Guinness for Nestle, he worked with the HR, told them, he recommended another of his friend, a colleague, who he knows, who he could attest to the performance of the person. And that person was the person that replaced his own role. And that has happened in a lot of multinational companies. And that happened because there was open communication with the HR. It's not every time when people leave that is for bad. No, because people have individual goals. They will want to leave for different reasons. A woman can decide to say, oh, I've met, in fact, I'm in a serious relationship with somebody outside the country. And if this guy should propose, HR, I'm leaving, you know, so HR is able to, you know, there should be that level of open communication, you know, with HR to say, these are plans for my family. By the end of this year, I'm looking at relocating my family. I'm looking at leaving to go and do my master's, do my MBA, do my PhD, you know, for different reasons. Oh, I'm relocating to get married. Love is not in the shores of Nigeria. Love is hot outside the country. So that open communication is also very critical. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful answer. So this next question is very important for business owners. So I hope everybody is listening. In the context of a rapidly changing business landscape, how should organizations adapt their internal marketing and communication strategies to keep employees engaged and aligned with evolving goals?
Okay, so first, you need to establish real-time communication and updates. This should be emphasized to keep employees informed of the latest developments. And you can use channels like instant messaging. You can use channels like video conferencing to promote immediate updates, but it's very, very important that real-time communication and updates is shared amongst the team. You can use visual and interactive content like infographics, videos, to actually ensure that you are communicating rapidly. You are communicating speedily, you know, because times have changed. Business times have actually changed. People are more informed. People want to get information real time. So you can actually use personalized and targeted messaging tailored to individual. You can use data analytics to segment employees and deliver relevant messaging. You can shift from your rigid annual goal setting and shift to a more agile and more adaptive approach. You can set short-term goals. You can have regular reviews. You can adjust targets as the need arises to respond to rapidly changing market dynamics. You can have employee involvement and empowerment, you know, encourage employees to take an active role in shaping the organization response to change. So solicit their inputs, get their ideas, and get their feedback. You'll be shocked as to how they will carry the thing on their head. So those are the few points I have in a rapidly changing business environments. You guys need to adapt to. We all need to adapt to when it comes to internal communication.
Thank you so much for that. So, so moving on to the next question. It says, can you share insights on the role of technology and digital tools in enhancing internal marketing and communication for employee engagement, especially in hybrid work environment?
So, I'll give you just 4 insights.
Okay.
On this role. One will be facilitating seamless communication. You can use digital tools like instant messaging, like I said, video conferencing, to enable seamless communication. And this is very essential when it comes to hybrid work environments. This is very, very critical. Secondly, you can enhance accessibility and inclusivity through, technology ensures communication and information accessibility now to all employees with diverse needs and abilities. So with features like screen readers, with features like even language translation, it makes content more inclusive and it makes it relatively easier. The third insight will be personalized content delivery. You have digital tools which can be used to analyze employees' preferences. You have digital tools that can be used to analyze behaviors and roles to deliver personalized content, right? Via your intranet, you can show customized news feed. You can show training resources based on an employee's interest. And then lastly, data-driven insights. Analytics tools have made it relatively easier for you to measure, for instance, the open rates, how many people opened email from HR, click-through rates, level of engagement with internal content. You can measure all these things. So these insights would help you as an organization leader, to refine your communications and your strategies and have tailored content to better engage your employees.
Okay, thank you. Quickly, you mentioned analytics tools. Can you mention some of the tools for us?
So you have actually different analytic tools that you can actually use, right, to measure your information. You can check the open rate, the rate at which people open your email. If you check for those of us using Outlook, there's a setting at the top where just click on read, right? You would see the number of people that have read. You get a pop-up once somebody reads the email that HR has sent. You can tell how many people have read your email. So if a staff should say, oh, sorry, HR, you sent a mail, but I didn't see it. I have not gotten it. I have not read it. You can track that. No, I got a delivery notification and I got a very easy for you to now use to track. Those of us that are responding externally, your click-through rates to see how many people have clicked and opened, number of likes. Engagement is easy because the comments that they leave in the interaction, you can tell who was able to interact with it. If I post something on LinkedIn now, I can tell how many of my staff clicked on it. If I post something on Instagram or they post something on Instagram, I want to like and comment. I can see how many of my employees liked and commented on that particular post. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. The next question says,
let me come in here and just share a little a little more insight for, yeah, thank you, Vivian, for that. For analytic tools, because for those of you that might want to probably, implement these things in your organization, differently based on what you are measuring or what you want to see. There are a lot of softwares out there that you can actually engage, right? So a few of them I'll just mention that you can go online to get more more insights. But I can tell you, this is your IT responsibility, really. So you can consult with your IT also to get some of these tools for you. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay, exactly, like Tableau, there's a Matomo, even you can use Excel, that's very free. And also Google Analytics, I think, is also free.
Google Analytics is free. Google Analytics is free.
Yeah. Thank you, Halima. Thank you, Vivian.
Okay, thank you, CA, for that. The next question says, what are the key steps to developing a comprehensive marketing plan that aligns with business goals?
Yes, I'm interested in this.
Okay, so when you are putting together a marketing plan, critical things to bear in mind, you need to conduct a market audit. When you conduct a market audit, you check who are the people operating within that space that you are in. If it's a product, who are your competitors, right? Your market audit will show you that. What are their offerings? Your market audit will show you that, right? Then you now need to do a market research. So audit and research is relatively, it goes hand in hand. Your market research will tell you things like, what's the price point? What's their unique selling proposition? What do they have going for them? What is their strategy? Are they regional players? Are they targeting a niche market? So once you've done your market audit, you've done your market research, you check for your competition, what they are doing, you then understand your audience. So who are your target audience? What are the things that they like? What are their behaviors? What are the things that you can use? What are their emotional triggers that you can use to connect with them? What are the functional triggers that you can use to connect with them? Then you will now develop a positioning and a messaging. In developing a positioning, you need to highlight what your unique selling proposition is, right? What's unique about TA? Why TA over the 10 other people that are fit into this role? So for product, why would people pick my product over competition products? Once you are able to fine-tune and get that unique selling proposition, you develop your positioning to say, I'm going to be playing at a value level, entry level, or I'm going to be playing at a premium level. I don't want everybody to afford me. I know the people I'm targeting. So you've gotten that. Then you set your company and marketing goals. Please remember, when you're setting your marketing goals, remember to attach timelines to it. Set a goal based on timeline to say, within the first 6 months, I want to achieve this. Within the next 6 months, I want to achieve this. You could even break it down to quarter. Once you've set that, then you need to draw up a budget. When you're putting together a marketing plan, a budget is very, very key. You draw up a budget. Your budget also can be milestoned. In drawing up your budget, you will know if you need investors, if you can self-fund, or if you need to get a loan. Then you develop your marketing campaign now that you know your budget. Your marketing campaign will tell you, okay, in my first few weeks of launch, I will go very, very heavy on social media. I'll be heavy for the next 3 months, then I'll take a break. I'll see the impact of my 3 months campaign, and then I'll do this. You need to do that. So you need to develop a marketing campaign. You need to develop an implementation timeline to say, I must launch from this time to this time. I must do marketing from this time to this time. I must develop content from January to December. I must post every week. I must organize HR with TA for professional network once a week, once a month, you know. Then you evaluate and you make improvements. You evaluate, you make improvements. Remember, continuous evaluation is very key, and improvement is very key to adjust. But sometimes you set out, you do your marketing plan, you set out to achieve this goal. You realize that, oh my God, my product is actually appealing to a different type of segment, or my services is actually appealing to a different type of segment. So it's like TA setting out to say, this is for professional, HR professionals, and the next thing you see business leaders jumping on it. You see CEOs jumping on it. Automatically, what does that mean? TA, it means you need to adjust your content to not only be not only to answer the questions of HR professionals, but also to answer the questions of business leaders like I am. Because business leaders, I mean, have one thing in common with HR, which is people. In every business, you need people. You can't run your business alone without people. So my office and my HR director's office is just close by. Every time we change offices or we move from one complex to another, the HR's office has to be next to my office. Because as a business leader, I need people to be able to work for me. I need people to be able to deliver, you know. So these are the things you need when you are putting together a marketing plan in the nutshell. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vivian, for that. The next question says, what are some cost-effective digital marketing tactics that small businesses can leverage to increase their online presence?
Can you go over that again?
Okay. What are some cost-effective digital marketing tactics that small businesses can leverage to increase their online presence?
You have to utilize social media platforms like Instagram, like Facebook. These are platforms that are relatively free. All you need is data. And every small business already has on the Coke. It totally got to everybody. Personalization is very, very key, and it's very, very easy for you to stand out when you have tailor-made services or you have personalized products to meet the needs of your target audience or a consumer.
But you never entered before. Okay, but I want to introduce it.
Can we mute you?
Because I know I've not seen
that. Can you please mute yourself, please? Sorry about that.
That's fine. So you need to do all this. You need to do personalization. You need to do influencer partnership. Those things set you apart, you know, in a crowded amongst the whole noise and the whole crowd, and you need to do something different. So we had a lot of cooks, we had a lot of chefs, right? But everybody remembers Hilda Baci for coming out to do the cookathon and to win the Guinness World Record. So whatever it takes, you know, amongst the crowd, there will always be a crowd in every successful business because people want to rush in and do it. But you need to be able to stand out. You need to do something unique. You need to offer a unique proposition. So these are the things that you can do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. The next question says, how do you recommend measuring the success of marketing efforts? And what key performance indicators should businesses prioritize?
So you can measure things like sales growth. You know, you can evaluate the impact of your marketing efforts on the sales output that you've gotten. You can measure your return on investment. You can measure the lifetime value of a customer. You can measure your customer acquisition costs. You can measure your website traffic. You can measure your conversion rates, right? You can even measure your return on ad spend. So you compare the percentage of website visitors who take desired actions, right? For some of us that post newsletters, you can measure your subscriber rates, how many people actually subscribe to your newsletter. You can measure referral traffic rates. You can even measure click-through rates.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I hope we are still all following. Very important. So we have this question here that says, what strategies can businesses employ to effectively utilize social media platforms for marketing purposes and engage with their audience?
First, you can define your target audience. In defining your target audience, you are able to tailor content, you know, that would appeal to them. So who are you targeting? Where are they? What are their interests? What kind of content would you use to engage with them? Then after doing that, you can then create a content calendar. A lot of these skits, social media influencers that you see there, they work their ass out because those consistent posts that you see from Taoma or you see from brands, you know, they have actually built like a calendar, a content calendar where they have short, a lot of content. So you need to create a content calendar. This will help you stay organized and it will ensure that you're constantly posting content that resonates with your target audience. Then you need to make sure that part of those content, you have evergreen content. These are contents that are relevant all through the year. And you need to also ensure that part of the content you are putting together are timely content. These are contents that are relevant with current trends and events. As the trends come up, you shoot. You need to leave windows for those. And then you need to have promotional content. So you already know the festivities of the year. You already know when is International Women's Day, when is Mother's Day, when is Ramadan, when is Workers' Day, when is Children's Day, when is Valentine, when is Father's Day, Christmas, Easter. So you can also leverage on that and then shoot content that encourage people to buy your products, encourage people to engage your services. And then you can use eye-catching visuals such as images, videos, infographics. These things actually helps your content stand out. And then you then engage with your audience on a two-way. Make sure that your conversation is two-way. You interact with your audience, they can drop comments, and then you too can respond to them. Run contest and giveaway. This giveaway we hear is something that increases followers and increases engagement. You can utilize user-generated content. For those of us that are in the marketing and brand space, a lot of times our campaigns that we put out there will tell consumers, do a video with yourself using, for instance, Money Fresh to do your dishwash. Post it. Do a video of yourself using a brand, one of the brands we handle, to cook. Post it. That way, it is users that are generating the content. You know, you can even tell them, post a picture of yourself. Make sure you get people to like and comment. So you can leverage on influencers and brand ambassadors. A lot of people they are leveraging on influencers now, converting them to brand ambassadors to boost and expand their reach and credibility. And then lastly, you can optimize, you can use them SEO optimization to make sure that when they click in or they put in a word, you know, you need to use very catchy words when they put it in, you know, the name of your business pops, you know. So these are the things that you can do. And measure and analyze your results. Always measure and analyze your results. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Vivian. So we'll be going on a quick commercial break, after which we'll come back for participants' questions and answer section. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Stay tuned up to this moment. So we want our participants to drop their questions in the question box so we can pick it up from there. Okay, welcome back. So you can drop your questions in the chat box, or you use the emoji to raise up your hand to unmute yourself if you want to have if you have any questions for our guest speaker for today. Come on, please, let's keep it coming.
Okay, so I believe everybody have gotten tremendous value. So if it's okay, if there's no question, I would just implore everyone to, let us implement all that we have learned today. As HR, I like the fact that the guest speaker today actually emphasized a lot how important HR is to our organization, and that is actually the belief of every MD CEOs. I used to say this thing in my training, Vivian. I want you to, correct me if I'm wrong, or support it if it is true. I used to say that after the owner of the business, the second owner of the business is the HR. And I usually use that statement when I'm trying to drive or buttress the point, how much HR professionals need to, take ownership of the business. So in your opinion, do you think HR should assume the position of owner of the business? Do you see your HR as a leader in your business, or just one of those managers, one of those,
I'd mentioned it. I'd actually mentioned it during one of the questions, that the answer to the question I was taking, to say, in my own organization, and I lead 3 different companies that are situated in 3 different places. At every point in time when we're moving in, the HR office is the office that is always next to mine. And that's because of the role that HR plays in organization. Look at the way multinationals take their HR. A lot of multinationals have now changed HR, the word, to chief people's person.
Yeah.
Because there is no company without people. Whether you like it or not, artificial intelligence cannot take the place of humans.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And so HR plays a vital role. If your company is about to fold up, or you're about to have massive churn rates, your HR, if you have a very good HR professional, he will tell you that, look, the way things are going, people have issues. Your HR is the one that should advise you to say, I think we should extend our holiday. Can people work 2 days remote? In my own business, I have certain people that work hybrid. So my IT, and those suggestions came from my HR. If not for my HR department, I would never know that.
Interesting.
So my IT, my graphics designers, those guys work hybrid 3 times a week. They work remotely. And these are the things that HR can tell you, to say, other than having this person resign, why not allow this person work this way? We can track whatever they are doing. What we want is for them to revert with tasks that they are given.
Yeah, productivity.
So my guys just got back from the August Women Meeting activation, and my HR said to me, I recommend that these guys take out 4 days off work. And I asked a simple question, why? He said, because most of the activities happened on a Saturday. For 2 consecutive weeks, they were working Saturday and Sunday in the East. And so he would like to make up for that Saturday and Sunday for the 2 weeks for 4 days off. I'm like, okay, fair point.